I was attacked. Savagely attacked. Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I've made it out to Shingle Street for some unfinished business, and if you're not sure what I mean by that, last time that I was here I was attacked, savagely attacked by the rain. I was absolutely soaked. Luckily enough I had all my full waterproofs with me, so physically I wasn't soaked, but my camera gear got absolutely drenched. And it was one of the main reasons after that shoot that I really considered my options about what camera gear that I actually had. And one of the strong driving factors was moving over to the full frame system, and obviously something that's weather sealed. Unfortunately at the time I was shooting on the Canon 77D, no weather sealing at all on that camera, but it made me sort of consider my options. And as I say, one of the strong factors of why I actually moved over to that sort of full frame system to get that weather sealing as well. Now I know it's not waterproof, so don't worry about that. I know it's not waterproof, the EOS, but at least I've got that weather sealing on with the lenses that I'm using. But because I was up this way on my sort of photographic road trip, I really wanted to come back to this location to try and put those demons and those unpleasant feelings that I've got about this location to rest. So let's hopefully come up with a couple of images today. First composition that I've got set up here is of this lovely pool of water in front of the cottages that you can see just over there. Yeah, what a great location. It's always a location that's inspired me to come to here. It's very minimal, it's very bleak, and on a grey afternoon as it is now at almost 10 to 3, it's yeah, really sort of proves and emphasises, I think, this sort of bleakness and remoteness that it is here at Shingle Street. So as you've just seen from the B-roll, what I've done is I've taken about an 8 image pano, I think, right across this full sweep here of this lovely sort of pool or lagoon, maybe, I don't necessarily know. It is tidal, I think, but yeah, it does, obviously some of the water does remain. You can see where it went up to high tide, but yeah, I'm not sure. The tide is on its way out, I definitely know it's not low tide yet, but yeah, it's a really sort of bleak location, and hopefully this image will work out really quite well. Settings for the camera: f11, ISO 50 and 1/8 of a second as the images. I don't need to bracket, I'm looking away from the actual sunlight, so yeah, it's quite a flat scene. There's not much light or contrast within it, so there's no need to sort of bracket, no need to put any sort of grad NDs on as well, so it's just, yeah, working out really quite well. I'm going to probably lose a lot of the sky in the actual final crop, and possibly a little bit of the shingle off the foreground as well, because yeah, one bit of shingle looks like the next bit, and the bit after that, and a bit after that. But yeah, there's a lot of shingle around here, and it's obviously quite well named, isn't it, for obviously the location. So yeah, anyway, joking aside, obviously taking this competition will hopefully work out really quite well. Making it over the shingle down to the waterfront here is an absolute mission. If you live near here, there would be zero need to ever join a gym. All you'd need to do is walk up and down on this shingle, and crikey, finally got my breath back, set the camera up for a couple of compositions. So as you can see, I've got the camera in vertical orientation. I've got it set at f11, ISO 50 as normal, 1/6 of a second, and what I'm doing is just waiting for the waves to come in here, create a lovely leading line up through the image. Now, the conditions are really working out well for me here because of obviously the low cloud, the mist, the murk on the horizon is really making it a wintry image around this area. And yeah, it's going to hopefully work out well. And I'm also thinking about these compositions is probably black and white at the same time. As the tide comes in, and as you can just see, the waves are coming in, it's creating some lovely patterns and details in the shingle here. So yeah, it's just looking at which one is working out well and when to actually take the image. As I was mucking about with that composition, the light, the sun has broken through, and this is why we do what we do. Wow, that is lit up, the scene, fantastic. Going back to the original composition, getting the sunlight bouncing off the water in the foreground as well, working out superb. This is why we do photography. This is why we do landscape photography. This is why we put the effort into it. Because we're rewarded for only probably about a minute or two. Here comes the wave. Line it up, go. That's gotta be it, that's gotta be it, and well worth it, wow. Camera set up, f11, ISO 50, 1/10 of a second as the base image, and working out really well. The light is now disappearing behind this low cloud, but this is why we do what we do, isn't it? And working out really well. Yes, 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 yes. This is what it is all about. That's a mad 5-10 minutes there of just reacting to the light. It felt like that. It's probably only about a minute or two. Try and rush around so quickly, try and do everything. Reset up the camera, change it over from what you was doing before to this one. But yeah, wow. I'm bracketing the image as well. So when it takes, yes. Yeah, when it takes a really underexposed image, I've still got that lovely break of light in the actual cloud as well. So wow, this is it. This is it, isn't it? And well worth making the effort to actually get out here. Hour and a half or so from home, but for this 5 minutes of sunlight, that makes it, absolutely makes it completely worthwhile. For the final composition, I've made it down here to this last little bit of spit of land, looking out. Now I've framed it up with the edge of the water here in the left hand side of the composition, running round and right out. There's a marker buoy right out in the far distance. Whether or not I'll be able to pick that out in the final composition, I'm not too sure. But what I'm liking, being this side and framing up for this composition, it's in a little bit of a lull of the water, or an eddy of the water, so there's not much movement to the water. Now I've closed the aperture down to f22 just to extend the shutter speed for as long as possible without the need to put any ND filters on, because to be honest, there's not much movement, as I say, in the water. There's really no detail in the sky, so a second exposure would work out really quite well. Issue of diffraction, well, to be frank, I'm never bothered about that, so it is what it is. But I think f22, ISO 50, 1 second exposure, single image will work out really quite well. It's good. The second is going to blur out any of the movement at all in the actual water itself, so hopefully it'll be quite a minimal image. Again, obviously looking at the scene with obviously the water and the shingle here, definitely going to be black and white, but yeah, it's that sort of minimalistic area, isn't it, to come to shoot here, and pleased that I've captured this as my final image. For the final image there, all done and dusted, I really think that I've been able to put to bed the demons that I had when I was here last. But yeah, it's well worth coming back to locations, because yeah, the conditions are the conditions and you can never predict them. Particularly like today, is worked out really well. I mean, that moment of light, that sort of 10 minutes or so, and yeah, reacting to it is, as I said, it's definitely why we do what we do, isn't it? And well worth the effort. And yeah, just coming back to this location, it's yeah, really fun, isn't it, to come back to. And as anyone that's been and visited here, there's so much to offer. Low tide, high tide, and everything in between as well. Hopefully one day though, I will be venturing back here for a sunrise, as one of the things I do like about the Suffolk or North Essex and Suffolk coast is the fact that there's uninterrupted views straight out to the east and where the sun is rising, compared to where I am at home. Unfortunately, looking across the Thames estuary at Southend to Kent, you obviously not got that clear view, and trying to actually come up with a composition and other locations, shall I say, where the obviously sun and you've got that clear horizon. Yeah, definitely I think coming back here for a sunrise would have to be one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, thanks a lot for everyone that's watched today. Really enjoy it and really appreciate your support. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and until I'm back in the computer room, no doubt, obviously editing all of the images from my recent trips out here in Suffolk, but until next time, take care.